happy Monday. I am excited to show you a very quick and easy treat packaging that you can use for Halloween. I don't know when your trick-or-treat is. Mine here in Ohio is Thursday evening. And once again, they're expecting torrential downpours, cold, nasty weather in central Ohio. So once again, I'm not sure how many trick-or-treaters I'll get, but you know what? If I get any, I'm thrilled to spoil the kids with a little bit of treats and some fun conversation. Last year, I remembered two children came to my door with their dad. And I've met the family before, but the little boy was so excited and he kept saying, "Guess what I am? Guess what I am?" And I had no idea. Something called venom, which I now know. But it just cracked me up how he just kept making me guess and guess and guess, and I didn't have a clue. But anyways, lots of fun. So this is something that you'll be able to use for that. Or you can switch out for any theme you like: birthday parties, holidays, classroom treats, etc. Before we do that, though, I want to give you a sneak peek of something I worked on this weekend. This is not the finished final copy, but my daughter Andrea is getting married June 26th, and I'm going to be making the wedding invitations, save the dates, thank yous, shower invitations, those sort of things. So I started playing around with it this weekend. Here's the bridesmaid's color or the wedding color. So I thought that looked really nice with it. And she liked the Forever Fern stamp set. So that's what I'm using for that. Also, this weekend, I announced my latest class to go, and it features the Gorgeous Leaves bundle with the full class. You'll get the bundle, and you'll get supplies to make 8 cards, 2 each of different designs. And I'm really excited about this fall class because I wanted to do something different. So my different is using a little bit of a non-traditional color scheme. So I've used Soft Succulent, So Saffron with Bumblebee, Rich Razzleberry, and then this is the last card where I use all 3 of those in combination. I had a lot of fun designing that, and like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I'm really pleased with the way that turned out. And these are cards that can be used all year long, not just during fall. That's why I especially love it so much. And you can add on the ink pads. You can even add on the Stitch Greenery die. I will be using the die for this card for everyone that purchases option 1 and 2. However, this is so beautiful, I thought I would give people the opportunity to add it to their class to go. And when you do that, you get this at catalog price. So you're saving on additional shipping charges. So keep that in mind. And I'm ready to show you today's demonstration. So I'm going to flip my camera around. While I do that, would you share and invite others to join us? It's sort of like scooting over on the couch saying, "Come here and watch this with me. Come see this." So if you would do that now, I would be very grateful. I have 2 nieces that are students at Ohio State University. Allison is a senior in nursing, and Avery just started her first year, and she is studying business. So I'm going to swing by their places later today and drop off some treats for them and their roommates. And they each have 7 roommates. Allison lives off campus in an apartment, and Avery lives in, Moral Tower on campus. So I'm using today the cutest Halloween stamp set. It does have a punch, which has been on back order a very long time, I hate to say. But I will just be doing a little bit of fussy cutting if need be, because the shapes are super easy to cut out. And here's a little sampling of some of that paper. It's really, I've used this a lot, and it's really been fun to work with. But let me show you first of all what we're making. So Avery's group will be getting these Hershey bar sliders. Here's just 2 I've made. And then Allison has to eat gluten-free, so we were looking for something that was gluten-free, and Oreos apparently are. So I got these for her group. So there are the Oreo sliders. And really, you can do this with anything at all. I've made popcorn sliders, and those were a huge, huge hit. You know, the Kit Kat bars. And you can adjust the size to anything you want it to be, to whatever you're using. Obviously, if I'm doing the popcorn sliders, a 6x6 DSP is not large enough. So maybe I'll use cardstock and decorate it with some DSP. Or I'll pull out my 12x12 DSP and cut the length I need to wrap around. But this is super, super easy. I am going to use my Seal Plus, and tear and tape is another great solution. You could even use your multi-purpose glue. You just want an adhesive that is very strong for these. And I always recommend any kind of 3D item or treat favor that you'll use a really strong adhesive. So this is how you start. You just wrap it with your paper. It just so happens I did not trim this 6x6 paper. It just so happens it fits nicely for both of the treats I chose to use without having to do any cutting. All right. Then you're just going to slide out the treat just a little bit, and I'm going to punch a circle. This is a 1/2-inch circle punch. And yes, this punch is retired, but I know that many of you have that, and I will keep mine forever. And if you don't have exactly a 1/2 inch, you know, you could go a little larger or a little smaller. You could even cut a slit into the treat holder, but you want to go through both the front and the back. The next thing I'm going to do is pull this all the way out. And I'm going to use this ribbon because I like that punch of color. And all you're going to do is lay this. And honestly, I really don't even measure. I would say this is probably about 22 inches of ribbon. But again, how much you use will depend on what you're wrapping. And you're just going to hold it in place like that and slide it in. And you're going to slide it so it goes beyond the left side. You want it to come out the left side. And the reason for that is you want to have those punched circles exposed. And then you're just going to pull the ribbon through each of the holes. Just like that. Hold the ends together and then give it a tug so that the treat comes all the way into the holder. You might have to go back and forth a little bit. All right, and you want to make sure it's pretty evenly spaced on each end. And then you just want to tie a knot with your ribbon. Super easy. And when you do this, don't pull it real tight, because if you pull it real tight, it tends to pull the treat out, and then it's hard getting it back in. You didn't leave enough of that extra ribbon. Okay, that's good and tight. And see, this is how they get their treat out. So super easy, right? There we go. Like it, so the ends aren't quite showing all the way, but that's just me. And then you're going to trim the ends a little bit. Whoops. Come on. There we go. And then you can embellish this any way you want. So we can punch or fussy cut from the DSP. We can add a sentiment, which I think is what I will do for this one. This one says, have a fabulous Halloween. And I think this will fit right on here. These are those extra pieces I get when I cut my cardstock for the inside of cars. And it will, I cut the 5 1/4 by 4 inch. You get 4 out of 1 sheet of cardstock. And then I have all these pieces left over. So I always tend to keep those, or at least have a bunch on hand at all times, because they work great for small sentiments or narrow sentiments like that one. Joyce, yes, you might want to tell people pull here. Like for this one, I will not put a tag on because I am actually dropping them off to my nieces, and I'll show them. They'll look in the bag and say, ooh, and I'll tell them, okay, here's how you tell your roommates to reveal the treat. But like when I send some to my littles in Cincinnati, I would include a little note or a tag that says, pull here. And that would work out just great. And these you can, honestly, ooh, that's a little too long. I don't like that so long. You can decorate these any which way you like. And making these and then decorating them, it's easy to make them all individual, all different when you've got a nice selection of designer series paper and a variety of embellishments. And I was thinking some of these and some of these would work nicely. So these are the pastel pearls, and I'm going to use one on each end here. And for something like this, I do like making them all a little bit different. Number one, I just think it's fun for those receiving them. Number two, it allows me to use whatever I have on hand. It allows me to use, you know, I've gone through, I don't know, maybe 3 packages of this. So some of the papers I have more or less of. But it allows me to use anything I have on hand in terms of the paper and also the embellishments. And again, they're easily adapted to any size you need. Okay, I've mentioned the Hershey bars. You've seen me using the, let me pull this out. You've seen me using, or you will see me now, use the Oreo packets. It can be anything you can think of. I mentioned popcorn. Do you have some ideas of something you could use for this purpose? You know, popcorn is a fun one to use at Thanksgiving time too. The popcorn packets, and then do some pretty fall paper with maybe a gold leaf accent, something like that. And again, you can use it for Christmas, anything at all you want. So there it is. I wrapped it. I feel like I didn't get that quite straight. There, that's a little better. Once you've wrapped it, you can take out the treat, punch your hole through both layers, the front and the back, and then you're going to add your ribbon. For this one, I think I'm going to use this. And here are the ribbons I pulled out, just so you know. Again, I didn't have a full bolt of any of these ribbon, but I can mix and match them with any of the designer series papers and my embellishments. So that's why I chose those. And again, I don't really measure. I just go around it and leave 4 or 5 inches on each end of the ribbon. I'm going to slide this back in. Come on. Okay. They came out a lot easier than they went in, didn't they? You know what? Let's do this. Let's see if this works better. But then I have to do it, the tie on the opposite end, which really would be okay. I can feel there we go. I can feel the Oreos moving around in there as I push it. All right, push it out to expose the treat on the left side. Pull the ribbon up through the front and back hole. Give a little tug to pull the treat all the way into the holder, and then you can tie it off either this way or with a square knot. Is that what it's called, a square knot? Right over left, left over right. Just like that. I'll trim it a bit. And then I'll add a sentiment to this also. I think on this one I'm going to use a punch of color and stamp it on pumpkin pie with black ink. Marion, thanks for joining us. And then I can punch this with my fancy, Label Me Fancy punch. Do you remember when I said if you don't have a circle punch, you could cut a slit here? Here's a slit you could use to cut that. Just slide in the holder and cut a slit for your ribbon. And that actually is a ribbon slit. And this actually is a ribbon hole. This is small, so it depends. Like this would work well with the gingham ribbon. But for the slit, or if you're using, you know, a wider ribbon, maybe go with the slit. But this is a good option as well to create that hole to pull your ribbon through. And I'm going to pop this on with dimensionals. And you can see I really didn't measure it all here. I'm going to do that. And if you do need to measure whatever you're using, whatever you're wrapping, you're really just going to measure once and cut your paper to that. And then it's simple. Just wrapping the treats and adding the ribbon and embellishing. So they are, it's something that goes very quickly. Oh, I know what I should pull out. Where are they? Do you remember the star sequins? Oh yes, let's add some of those. I almost forgot about these babies. So let's add some of these star adhesive back sequins to the treat holder. Oh, I'm so glad I remembered these. Okay, so there you have it. So a couple of different ones I made with the Oreo packages right here. And then also the Hershey bars. And I have to tell you, we were picking out, Emily went with me to the store, and we were picking out candies that, were pretty economical to give to groups. And the Oreos came like this, packaged 12 packages, I believe like $6.99 maybe at Kroger. And then the Hershey bar 6 for, I don't know, maybe $4.99. So, you can find inexpensive things. If you're doing a whole lot, the small individual popcorn packets are fabulous. Packs of gum, all kinds of things. And I bet you can think of many, many more. So, all right, that's what I have for you today. I hope that I have inspired you to create some fun treat packaging, either for Halloween or perhaps for Thanksgiving or Christmas, a birthday, or even just a little thinking of you treat. It's also fun to do something like this if your work does the Secret Santa, or maybe something a little more adult-like, and you could take it to your book club or your church group, whatever. Anybody who gets this, young or old, I think will enjoy it very much. Have a great Monday, and I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday evening. Bye-bye, everybody.